Alright, it's been a little while since I made any kind of an update, and that's because it has been obscenely cold as of late. Today it is a balmy 10 degrees out, which that's about my threshold for when I can actually, stand to work. Below that, I kind of wuss out, which I think at 10 degrees I have every right to. So yeah, it is borderline workable, so I'm out here. The past few days I worked on Andy's truck. We put floor pans in it because it's heated where he's at, and it's not heated out here. So yeah. But yeah, we're back on this. I'm waiting on a semi-warm day to paint the roof. I ordered the windshield seal. I got the dash all sandblasted, and I've got some paint mixed up for that. So we've been getting things done, just nothing really visual. Today, tearing into this back here, we've got some metal work going on. Figure I'll make some kind of a little video before I get too deep. So what we got here is these custom bed floor end pieces that I crafted about a year ago. Maybe not quite a year ago, but something like that. Sometime. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. I made these. These are all out of 16 gauge steel. And it was kind of fun how I made them. So I got these. I don't know if I've got the jig. Yeah, here it is. Anyways, I got 2 rail plates that were definitely not stolen from the railroad. And 2 pieces of Model T leaf spring that came out of the school scrap pile. And I got these kind of welded on here. And then I made another one out of another rail plate that's just got 1 strip in the middle. And I set the sheet metal on here, set the other rail plate on top, and then hit it about 6 times with a big-ass sledgehammer. And that's how I made the slices, which honestly, if I had that jig before, I would have used that to make a bunch of these pieces, but I didn't. So I made something somewhat like this, sort of. This is a rudimentary test piece. It's not actually any good. I made pieces that look like that, and then I took them and I brought them into the sheet metal lab and heat shrinked this all down, because this didn't stretch the metal, this bent it, but then I needed to make it flat, so I needed to shrink the metal down. So I did that. I used the shrinking dies. I heated it up red hot because it's such thick steel. The shrinker the school has doesn't really work on it. So I heated it up glowing and then put it in the shrinker, and that worked good. So I made all those pieces. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Like that. So I obviously got to trim them down to size and get them all installed. That'll be pretty good. And the reason why I'm doing that is because this is all pretty well shot, and this is all pretty thin. It's kind of garbage. It's just a little too thin to really work with, and if I get out the old pick, it goes through in a lot of these. Anyways, there's one where I went through. So this is all poo-poo. This is thicker steel under here. That should be okay. But the seam is all expanded. It's all shot. So I kind of owe it to myself to replace that after doing everything else in here. And speaking of stuff I owe it to myself to do, let's see here. Got my handy-dandy heater here to make it 4 degrees warmer. So I've got these pieces. I thought I made all of them, but I guess I didn't. These are those pieces. So this seam, it doesn't look it, but this is all expanded, so that's all rusty underneath. See where it's kind of rust-colored? It's just starting to peek through. It's a little more obvious there. That's all shot. So I've got these pieces to go. So I got to cut out this whole thing, weld that, or tack that in place. I think actually that's this one, but whatever. Tack that in place. So tack it along this, and because the wheel tub has got a flange that goes up like that. So this is to replicate that. And then these pieces go over top to simulate this. That'll be fun. So I've got to do that all along. Yeah. That'll be great. And then this piece of the wheel tub along here, this is all shot. More reasons why I really should have just found a better bed floor and just spliced the whole bed floor in, or bought one, but I'm insane, so I didn't. So this is that. I did it on this side already. It worked out pretty good, and I mean, it's a bunch of work for something you never see, really. You see about a half an inch of the new metal, but it's just, the joint is all shot, and it's just gonna get worse. And I figure, seeing as I'm gonna keep the truck, there's no sense in cutting any corners. So that's what we got going. But, yeah. Okay, I guess more as more happens. Alright, it is Saturday, I'm pretty sure. So, we're cranking away on the old Dodge. I think it's, about 12 out right now. Getting pretty close to the danger zone. I've been just trying to keep on working. I'm able to stay fairly warm, all things considered. I've got this, which kind of raises the ambient temperature around my immediate vicinity by probably 4 degrees, I don't know. I've got both jumpsuits on and my jacket, and really the weak point is the old toes, so just trying to keep those warm. But aside from that, cranking away. I've got the rear patches all installed. I've just got to grind some welds. Came out alright. You know, this one's just a touch crooked, that one there. The contours are not all exactly the same. It's whatever. It's just a truck. The point being here that it's now not complete garbage. To show you what we're up against here, or what we were dealing with. None of these spot welds I actually had to grind off. I just got a screwdriver between them and they just popped off. Most of them were not holding. There was like 3 holding on this whole piece. They just separated with a couple taps. So this is pretty crappy in there. That's all rusty. It's just overall kind of poor. So that is handled. Feel a little bit better about the bed now. Next step is moving on to all this. However, I am moderately cold and feeling somewhat lazy, so I think I'm just going to grind these welds and call it a night and get started on around the wheel tubs tomorrow. So, yeah, that's the plan. Alright, shed update time. I believe, yeah, this is Sunday. I went over that yesterday, pretty sure. And I'm getting started on this segment of the project. Got a little bit of a late start today. I had to fix my angle grinder, the old Steed, because that no longer locks. Just, it's worn out. Can't really complain. I got it very, very cheap on clearance. It's been a trusty machine thus far. It's well paid off. So I'm just kind of patching it together. Today on Don't Try This at Home, Kids, We're Professionals. Not really. This is a Christmas tree light button, and I hot wired it inside the grinder so it's always on when plugged in. So all you gotta do is just a little boop, and she goes. Definitely not sketchy at all. But it seems to work, and I am still using it, so great. But yeah, for all those who may not remember why we are doing this particular segment of the project, that is Rusty. And I might get into this, I might not, I don't know, depends on how we're feeling. But all the places where it's obvious and it needs to be replaced, we are fixing, because that is unacceptable. So this one I already did. I made a little patchy poo for the inside piece. I was going to go out to that line, but that would have been a fair amount more work, and I can't really effectively get in there to stretch the weld seam back out, so that would just kind of look like crap, I think. A lot less invasive to just kind of go along this line here, where the paint ends, sorta, and just kind of make something there, and it seems to work. So make a little inner piece, and then fit the outside piece up, splice it all together, plug weld it in, and it's done. But a little bit annoying, there's a lot of tight crevice work. The grinder and the wire wheel don't fit so great in here, so there's a lot of annoying hand chisel stuff, like this piece. Probably gonna need a little bit of chisel action to get that cleaned up. But, no matter, we soldier on. I've got this piece, that piece is done. Maybe do something down in there. Probably not replace the inner, but maybe just the outer. Depends on how I'm feeling. And then this side's a little worse. You can see those little two fellas there where it's actually peeking all the way through. That's definitely farther along. So, but yeah, that's what we got going on. Today is a little bit warmer, so I'm not that frozen, but the heater is certainly a nice little luxury. But yeah, I guess more and more happens.